Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're here to talk about some board games on a Wednesday episode sponsored by Gray Fox Games.
You say that we talk about board games, but that's going to be at least 30 minutes from now, I would suspect.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually.
We always lead in with we're a board game podcast, but there's going to be a portion of this.
Because I just want to get that up front. Like, hey, this is a board gaming podcast. You just have to wait for the board games.
It's more board gaming than not, but
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a super majority or not.
No, I don't think it's super majority.
No, they're not going to be impeaching anything anytime soon.
It's not veto-proof.
Our non-veto proof majority of board games.
Yes.
Good times.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So,
And we're actually going to have 2 episodes this week.
yeah, well,
We're going to whole ass it
yes.
Yep.
This week. And then we're going to no-ass it.
for a while.
Yeah. That's not true.
At least you.
Yeah.
In you'll be using your ass in different ways, while Zach and I are at a convention
Yes.
using our ass in our own way.
Yeah.
Can you stop saying using our asses? Can we just drop that metaphor, please?
No, Jeff's going to use his ass and I'm going to use my ass
Yeah, separately,
separately.
yet the same.
Parallel.
Parallel assing. We're just coming up with episode titles now. Speaking of metaphors, I heard someone use a weird one the other day.
Okay.
It was like, cut the mustard.
Uh-huh.
Like, that one didn't cut the mustard, which I had heard like a million times before, but never really stopped to understand what they were saying.
Okay.
So I had to go look it up.
Okay.
And no one knows.
Okay.
Like, cutting a mustard seed can kind of be there because they're not easy to cut because they're not big, or like there was ways to like cut mustard with another substance like vinegar to make it like easier to eat instead of it just being like whole mustard, because mustard itself is pretty strong
Yeah.
in our not like grocery shop bottled version.
Sure.
So yeah, that was just a funny thing that I had seen
Okay, then.
talking about using our whole ass. Just happened to make me think of that.
You looking stuff up there, Zach?
Yeah. Etymology.
Okay.
Just Kaiser's in here.
I know, right? I'm sure he'll send us an email. He owes us an email. It's been fucking forever.
It's true.
Jesus, Kaiser.
We just get it all in person.
Yeah.
I like how one person thought I was like, I thought it just like someone mispronounced cut the mustard and then just let it go.
Zach, how was your first week of the new job?
It's good. Still got a lot of stuff to learn, but I'm enjoying it. Only thing that's annoying is the commute, but I'm okay with that. So
Yeah. Small price to pay.
yeah,
For a paycheck.
theoretically I should get one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say like you're learning a lot of stuff. I assume you're just learning like how they want you to do accounting.
Yeah. Well, and they use different accounting software, so it's
Okay.
like, and how they do like reconciliations and stuff, and it's like because some of the things that I would instinctively do from working with the city wouldn't be correct and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now that everyone's asleep, what else should we talk about?
We saw Lion. I think it was just me.
Yes,
I
it
saw
was.
The Lion King, and unsurprisingly, it was wholly unnecessary.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling it would be.
Did you know when you decide to go from like animation, hand drawn animation to like trying to do photorealistic animals? Cats, like when they look sad, it's hard to tell the difference between if they look happy or not. So when you go photorealistic, it cuts out a lot of the emotion.
Yeah.
And so it's just you're hearing something say that, but the cat is just sort of like moving, like
Just kind of being a cat.
yeah.
It's like, well, I guess that might be the case.
It's like 30 minutes longer, I guess. Which like Aladdin was 30 minutes longer too. Apparently they changed some stuff, but it just felt like, for me at least, it felt like I had just watched the the original one, but worse.
But worse and apparently somehow longer.
Yeah. They had made some changes to like some songs. Be Prepared doesn't have as much Nazi like marching as you would expect, like it did in the original one.
I do not recall the original in any way, shape, or form to know whether there are more or less Nazi symbolism in it.
That's one of the Scar songs, right?
Yeah. That is like Scar's song, and it's garbage in this one. And then at one point, Beyonce, who's one of the people in this, is like singing, and I saw someone said like it was very reminiscent of like a pop star beginning, like trying to show their range at like a like
Sporting event?
sporting
Yeah.
event thing, and because it was like there's one song where you're like, you didn't need to sing all those notes. It was fine without going that far. Timon and Pumbaa were the only highlights for me. I thought they're the only ones whose voices felt connected to their characters.
I know Paul initially rated it a 5 out of 10, but then was almost immediately like, nope, I can't justify that anymore. 4 out of 10.
Like I feel like you could at least come up with an argument for like Aladdin, the new one, like showing it to people. This one I was just like, just watch the original. It's like I watched like a 5-second clip and I was like, that's already so much more emotion than the entirety of the movie.
But it made a lot of money.
yeah,
so
it
they're
did.
gonna keep doing it.
$185 million.
The highest grossing animated movie opening weekend of all time. It beat out
Incredibles 2, which is $182 million.
Yeah, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
Gonna keep doing it.
In a better movie, we saw
Yeah.
Art of Self-Defense, which is a dark comedy, which was very enjoyable.
I'm really bummed I missed out on that
Jeff and I thought it was very good.
Yes.
Okay. And Paul was just good. So,
Yeah, I liked the humor in it a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
It was very 90s. I was not going into that movie expecting it to just be like, oh, this literally takes place in like 1994
Yeah.
or 1992 or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch, or if I did watch it, like I remember watching a trailer for it, but I didn't remember anything from the trailer.
The only trailer I remember at all, it was so small. It was just that scene where he's talking with the instructor and he's putting his information on the computer. And that's like that was like the whole trailer.
Yeah.
And
I remember that part, but yeah.
yeah. And then it was just sort of like him driving a car with like Art of Self-Defense like on it. And that was it. And I think I went back and watched a trailer to just try and remember what movie it was.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember. And then I closed it. And yeah, it was real good.
Yeah.
It's about
Right on.
toxic masculinity.
Yes, it is.
That seems like about what I remember from the trailers, that it looked like it was.
Yeah.
Dark,
Yes.
but funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Equal parts dark and funny.
Yes.
As good dark comedy should be.
Yes.
Yeah, this one was real good.
Did you... Was it for this week, or was it the week before that you guys went and saw the... Oh, no, we already talked about that last week. Never mind. Stuber.
Yeah,
Yes.
we saw. Yeah.
That
It's like
was
two
the whole...
comedies in a row.
Yeah.
Comedies are rare nowadays, it seems.
Good comedies are rare.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
comedy I ever want to pay money for, no matter how small that amount of money is at this point.
Cool. Anything else you guys get up to that was entertaining or interesting
Went out drinking for a friend's birthday
on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
We got sushi beforehand, and it was a really bad storm that day.
Oh, yeah.
And then the house across the street got hit by lightning.
Like the place across the street from where you were getting sushi?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys like saw the house get hit by lightning?
Yeah.
We saw, yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like flash boom.
Yeah.
Like
We're like,
crazy
Jesus.
close.
Yeah.
There was a ton. That was probably the closest and most lightning I've seen in a long time.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
never.
a hell of a storm.
Yeah.
And then Paul, Julie, and I just waited out the rain there.
I didn't. I drove for a bit, and it hailed a little bit, but it wasn't anything too big.
Yeah.
But it was like, wow, I was here 15 minutes ago, and now there's just a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of standing water was crazy.
Coming home from work, there was like a big lake in the middle of Kipling, and there were like 4 cars stalled in it, and like people were winding their way through. And I saw one car that was trying to wind its way through, then get stuck, and then almost block it even more for like those of us like myself who are in big lifted vehicles. And we're like, yeah, the water's not flowing. It's just standing water. So I
Yeah.
don't mind going into deep standing water in my 4Runner. It's not going to sweep me off the road.
Yeah.
And luckily that guy who stalled out we were able to still
Drifted
get
his
around.
way.
We were still able to get around him to get through. I posted a picture of it in the Slack channel. It was substantial.
Yeah.
There was another area where a whole road, like as I was driving it, I looked off to the left, and that whole road looked like a river, like flowing down the road. Like there were standing waves and everything.
Wow.
It was crazy. But yeah.
I went to a work barbecue after sushi, and the rain had let up just enough to have a couple beers and cook some burgers and brats.
Right on.
We'd gotten a slush fund from recycling a bunch of bad cans
Okay.
that it was like Locos cans that had the wrong color on them because they came from Crown, not Ball. That's why no one uses Crown anymore.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
Crown.
So we got barbecue money from it. Recycling aluminum,
Cool.
one of the most recycled materials out there, period.
Yeah. I
90+% recycled aluminum or something.
Yeah. Another thing I'd done a photo of for Friday. We had a slush fund recycling fund where somebody went and had gotten a bunch of good pork and slow roasted it all the day before and then brought it in.
Nice.
It was tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was about it for me. Some of my stuff I'll talk about when we move over to board games. I did hike 9 miles today, so I am dead. My legs, knees, ankles, feet, everything from the waist down hurts.
I hiked from Red Square to Biker Jim's back to Red Square, and my leg hurt all day Sunday.
Your bum leg.
Yeah. Probably the most distance I've walked in quite some time.
Don't you have another appointment coming up here pretty soon too?
No.
No.
Beginning of September.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought it was sooner than that.
You'll be walking more next week.
Yeah. They have nice padded carpets there, though.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
it's probably not going to be as much
It's
of a
not-
problem.
Somewhat misleveled concrete.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
And then there's a lot of sitting
true.
while playing board games in between the walking.
Yes. Right on. Well, let's move over and talk about some board games then. Only 13 minutes in this time.
And it's a weather update.
Yeah.
Not been as hot because it rained finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had a couple big storms. Got stormed on our walk. It was hailing a little bit. It sucked. Or our hike. Although before a full move on to board games, I did almost break because I'm exhausted. After the hike, we went to Westbound and Down in Idaho Springs. I had one of the best chicken and waffles I have ever had.
nice.
It was really fucking good, and it really hit the spot after a 9-mile hike. That is all.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, I ate almost all of it.
Nice.
Couldn't quite finish the waffle.
The Denver Diner is one of the worst chicken and waffles I've ever had.
I'll keep that in mind.
Other great food, chicken and waffles, not it.
Okay. We also didn't talk at all about the fact we had a fan in town.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're
God damn it. I blame you, Adrian. You wanted to just push us in to board games without.
yeah. So May, very active on the Slack channel, was in town with a bunch of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
They flew in last week, like Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, fairly early.
No, it was Monday. Because
Yeah, 'cause
Tuesday you had.
Tuesday we went and got brunch with them bright and early. Not too bright and early, like 9 o'clock. Still probably breakfast, not brunch at that point. But took them to Universal. That's becoming like the introduce fans to Denver spot.
Yeah.
Is a meal at Universal. So that was just May and one of her friends. The rest weren't quite in yet. They came to game night. Seemed like they had a bunch of fun at game night. May apparently got all of her friends hooked on the mind.
Nice.
And then that was the only times I got to see her because then I had to go back to work.
Because you work on the weekend.
Yeah. But I know you guys hung out with her a little bit more. You had breakfast with her again before she left
Yeah, we
town.
went to Sassafras.
Yeah.
The moved location.
Yeah. How was the new location?
I mean, it was a house with a bunch of people in it.
Okay.
So about the same.
Okay.
Food was still good. Yeah.
Right on.
But no, it was a good, it was nice seeing her.
Yeah. So thanks for making the trip there, May.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
She spent a lot of time hanging out with her friends. They were actually doing things.
Yeah, like they went to this slow food festival that was going on downtown and did other things that I can't remember at the moment.
They went to Wizard's Chess.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Did a few other things, yeah. She was kind of keeping us updated in Slack a little bit. But yeah. Now we can talk about board games. So Zach, how about you? What'd you play?
Let's see. So I played some more Loony Quest. That's the drawing game where you're going through the different worlds and you're trying to, not touch things. Like there's a common board and then everyone has a transparent board that you're just sort of eyeballing and trying to figure out the path,
Right.
to get all the things you want. We did Worlds 2 and World 4, I think. And it gets a lot harder.
Yeah.
It is. There was just more stuff you're having to deal with and a lot tighter corners and things that you were having to make. It's still fun, still enjoyable. That mosquito That mosquito thing is still so fucked. So annoying. That's the one where you have to balance the token on your pen while you're writing.
Oh, yes.
Ugh. So after that, we played some Second Chance, which went well.
Uh-huh.
It was the tightest one I've seen so far.
I think I tied for first in both of them.
Yeah, so the one that I played with you, 3 people got 7 and 2 people got 6.
Yep.
So it was very close.
Yeah. And we all went out like the same round.
Yeah.
As well.
It was one of the things where you flipped over 2 things and it was like near the end of the game and they were like 5 by 4 like lines.
Huge garbage.
Yeah, and we're just like, nope, can't take it.
Nope.
And then I guess the only other thing I really played was I played the mines with Allison and Kaiser and Paul, Bullshit Paul, who was not a fan of the melding technique that we were doing.
No?
No, of like everybody touching hands. He was not a fan of that.
He was not a fan of the hand touching.
No.
Okay.
And so because of that, and I'm blaming that, we did bad.
And
Like,
rightfully so.
Yeah. We got like 4 or 5 in each time, and then we lost. So
Yeah.
yeah, we couldn't sync our minds correctly like we needed to for the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, the minds. Last thing I played was Mechs versus Minions. We're still continuing that campaign. We are in 8, I believe. Mission 8.
Of 12? 15?
10, I think.
10? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But it's going well, but it's still nice that like when we're doing the campaign, like we lost we lost it super early on. And so the second time we were able to figure out what we were doing wrong the first time, and then we were able to succeed then. A lot of bomb pushing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it went well on that. So still enjoying that, and we
No
got
one just
some
spinning off in a corner with a flamethrower?
No.
Okay.
No, not this time. We did have that happen the first time, more or less.
Yes.
Yeah, I was basically stuck in the back, and I never, because I was always trying to hit buttons so people could get through gates, and I was just like, okay, and then killing things behind me, and then minions came up and attacked our bomb, so it was not fun.
Great.
Some of those powers that we're getting every round, because you get 2 cards at the beginning of each game that as you kill a certain amount of minions, they'll unlock, and we keep getting new versions of those cards, and I just got one that like doesn't unlock until the 11th level, and it's like like the ones you got in the beginning are like 2 to 5 for them unlocking, so it's a late game one, but it was pretty powerful.
Okay.
So but yeah, that's basically what I've been doing.
It's been a while since I've played that.
Yeah,
Probably since we reviewed it.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Cool. Jeff, what about you? What'd you play?
Only other thing I played was Game of the Grizzled with the expansion after our Second Chance games. We played 3-player with traps on medium mission difficulty and got trounced pretty hard. The hard knocks weren't the worst that I've ever seen, but they weren't great.
Yeah.
But we kept getting all of the like really hard. Well, all of our hard mission cards ended up being the like forts and tanks and stuff. The one where you have like when you retreat or whatever, you have to draw additional cards to get rid of it.
Right.
And where like the other mission cards are just like you have an extra of this symbol or whatever in the mission or something else that sucks. Not a card that's there all the time that's adding in another threat. So like all of our hard cards were that, which were not making the game any better. But of course we got fucked, as is the Grizzled tradition.
Yeah.
We ended
Game
up,
can be real hard.
Yeah, we ended up doing a last stand and still lost.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. We just had a bad couple rounds, and once that happens, it's all over. But the support was going well until Allison got the one where her support token always goes to her.
Oh, yeah, that'll fuck you.
And then Kaiser had his support token is drawn randomly.
Oh, no.
So it was basically until she got the support, it was all over. And at one point, I had like 5 lefts for my support tokens and no
Goddamn.
rights. Yeah. Yeah. So Grizzled, still good. Still want to finish the campaign on that fancy edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Anything else?
That was it's more Feast for Odin that I still enjoy.
Okay. We'll talk about that more.
Yeah, spoilers for Friday.
Jesus. I almost just called you Zeph.
Yeah. Not just
It's
Jeff.
Zaf.
Yeah. Well, and I'm Jeff.
Yeah.
Rapidly just becoming one person. Your
Yeah.
your shirt's almost even.
How
the
about
same
this?
color.
I'll be Zaf, and he can be Jack. Jack.
Jeck?
Jeck.
Jack.
It's like an anime character.
Yeah, right. It's Jech. Thank you very much.
Jetch. Right on. Then I think that brings it over to me. I actually had a pretty big week of gaming. So Tuesday, Megan worked, so I went over and met up with some of the old Heavy Cardboard folks. So it was me, Ash, Tony, the former host, Sweater Mike, and Ben from our local group. The 5 of us met up over there, and we played a 5-player game of Indonesia, and it was fucking fantastic. I've missed playing Indonesia. It went really well. Everybody had played at least once, except for Ben, and he caught on really quick. He did still ultimately get last, which isn't unusual when it's your first splotter versus people who've played before, but he did, I thought, really well overall. And he certainly massively impacted the game with a couple mergers he tried to do there at the end to get into a position to win that really changed up who ended up winning. I got second, pretty close second, but second nonetheless. It was a lot of fun. Took 2.5, 3 hours, which is pretty great for a 5-player game of Indonesia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was it anyone's first play?
Just Ben's.
Just Ben's, yeah.
Yeah. It was really bizarre. So the first era was 1 round, and then the second era lasted most of the game, and then the third era came out, and that was the final round. So almost all of the game took place in that second era, which meant that oil never really got to play a big role or things like that. So really enjoyed it. But Ben had to leave at that point, but I didn't have to work the next day because I don't work on Wednesdays. And Ash and Mike and Tony were all down to play another game, and so they decided to play Puerto Rico, and so I joined for a 4-player game of Puerto Rico, and that played in an hour. Puerto Rico plays real quick when people kind of know what they're doing. They were claiming, I think it was Sweater Mike said he had played a game the other day, a 3-player game that was 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, they were just flying through. But it was a lot of fun. I hadn't played Puerto Rico in years. It was one of the first games when Megan and I first started dating. She got me for Christmas or my birthday because at the time it was
top 5
top
or something
5
on
BGG.
Yeah.
It had been number 1 for a long time until Twilight Struggle bumped it.
Yeah.
And so she knew it was really highly rated, so she got it for me, and I played it once with Bob and some people at game night, and then hadn't played it again. But I had so much fun with it. I've definitely decided I want to try and play it more, especially because it plays so quick. So I think I might start throwing that back in my game night bag and taking it. The only problem with it is that it is one of those games where the theme is your small provincial governors in Puerto Rico, and the people that are coming in on boats that you're sending to go work on your indigo plantation are the little brown pieces, and it's pretty sure that's definitely supposed to be slaves. And so it's got kind of a problematic theme to bring to game night a little bit. I really wish somebody would do more or less a straight re-theme of Puerto Rico. I think you could do something with put it in space.
And maybe make it a race.
Yeah. If it's space, I think you need to make it more card based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Some sort of card based race engine building game.
Yeah.
Race for the solar system or something.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Which there is Race for the Galaxy.
Did they already make one of those?
Oh, wow.
Had a board game version of it that was made, and I was hoping that it would be.
Oh.
And
It's just do a giant circle.
I was hoping it'd be good. But apparently I was talking to them, and they've all 3 tried it, and they said it is distinctly not good. So
Are you talking about New Frontiers?
yes, that's the one. Which was a major letdown. But so I don't know. Maybe I'll just come up with a reskin of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's a different space version, not Race for the Galaxy. Mining in the asteroid belt or something.
Have you played San Juan?
I have not played San Juan.
Because I know there's 2 editions of San Juan, which
Yeah.
is supposedly a reimplementation of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so it basically went Puerto Rico into San Juan as Puerto Rico the card game.
Yeah.
And then San Juan got flipped into Race for the Galaxy.
Yes. And now
For
there's-
anyone who didn't know that,
we were alluding to
Yeah.
with our new game design of Race for the Solar System.
yes.
Also,
Go ahead.
Also, a preview came out for The Expanse Season 4, and it looks awesome. San Diego Comic-Con happened, and so all the trailers came out.
Yeah.
But that just reminded me of The Expanse and how much I like The Expanse.
I need to get back to watching The Expanse.
It's only 3 seasons.
Still haven't watched it.
Get
so.
to it. Thomas Jane's in it the whole time.
Oh.
I really like Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to board games and what I've been playing. So that was my Tuesday. And then on Wednesday at game night, Megan and I busted out Agricola Revised Edition. We taught 2 new players. And so we didn't play with drafting for the occupations and improvements.
Which are all new.
Which are all new.
Well,
and I'd
new.
heard were more balanced in the revised edition, which like Sid in the Slack channel, he said like, it's still a little, it's not as swingy as it used to be, but it's a little swingy and drafting definitely helps. But when you play with new people, sometimes like drafting doesn't do them any good. It only helps the experienced players.
No, 100%. Yeah.
And so we just decided just to help speed things along. We were just going to deal them and go. I got smoked. Like, wasn't even close. Megan crushed at the game.
Yeah.
She's really good at Agricola. It's one of the ones that like she really took to. Which is funny. We were talking about it after the game, like with the 2 players, like kind of being like, "Hey, what'd you think?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's hard. Things are tough." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I hated it my first 2 plays. I don't know why I ever gave it a 3rd play, but for some reason it was the 3rd play for her clicked, and she's loved it ever since."
I heard that your strategy of never getting any more workers really helped
It
you
did
out.
not go well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get my 3rd worker until like turn 14 of 17.
Great job.
Yeah, it was not great. I got kind of just I was off to a really good start. I had some really good occupation and improvement things to where basically every time I went to get the grain space, I got 2 grain, a pumpkin, a vegetable, and I could spend 1 money to get a horse. So it was like a great spot for me to get a bunch of stuff. So I got my initial food engine going to where I could have fed a massive family. But then like in getting that going, everybody else got ahead of me on everything else. And then they just kind of did a great job of continuing to block me from ever building a new room. They kept taking like the wood right before I needed it, or the reed, or the build a room spot. And it just kept pushing it further and further. And it sucked.
Horses?
So horses are new, or it was a cow, I think.
Okay.
Because horses are in Farmers of the Moor, which we didn't play with.
Okay.
I
I think I
think it
played
was
with
get a
at all.
cattle. It was get a cattle.
Gotcha. That's not
Still
bad.
good.
Yeah, getting a cow in there.
But I still really enjoyed playing it, even though I got smoked. I tied for last with one of the other newbies, and then obviously the 3rd newbie was the 2nd newbie was in 2nd place, somewhere there in the middle.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. I really liked it, and it was another one where even teaching 2 new players, we played the whole thing in like 2 hours at game night. Like might have been 2:15, but that was really nice. I wasn't a huge fan of some of the component quality for the revised.
Yeah, we were
The cards were
filling up
super
the cards
thin.
a little bit, and they were like,
They shuffled real nice, but they folded real easy.
yeah,
They were getting a lot of crinkles after just playing with it for a little bit.
yeah. Those were some real light cards.
Yeah.
The mini thing that you got for him was
Yes.
nice, though.
Yeah. I really liked the custom mini meeple things.
The meeple expansion
Yeah.
or the
5 meeple
miniature
expansions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then they came with cards or something.
Yes, which we didn't mix those in for this game either. But basically, each meeple thing came with a small deck of custom minor improvement, and occupation cards, I think.
Okay.
But I think you just mix into the base game.
Gotcha.
And then, like I said, we do have the Farmers of the Moor revised, which is the whole reason we got Agricola Revised. Her dad, I told him I wanted Farmers of the Moor not revised, and then we got Farmers of the Moor revised. And rather than trying to combine them, I was like, I'll just pick up Agricola Revised. Now I think after playing it, I'm going to spend the money to just find Farmers of the Moor original to combine with our original Agricola, and then sell off the revised with Farmers Revised.
Gotcha.
Go back to the OG.
Go back to all the broken cards.
Yeah. Well, I might, sort through the decks a bit.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was all my gaming. It was all smashed into Tuesday and Wednesday, but it was a lot of good games. I had a lot of fun with it. So I think that wraps up what we've been playing. No Bloody Minute.
Nope.
No Kingdom Death
Nope.
Hour.
Nope.
Not yet.
Cool.
Soon.
My Edge of Darkness showed up.
With how much foam?
Well, the box had no foam, but inside the box was Edge of Darkness that had one piece of foam. As
Could it
is-
really
As
help?
is tradition.
The AEG tradition of having one piece of foam in their massive, massive box. Now, it's 3 trenches. So one trench is the plastic giant dice tray, like threat tray thing. Tower, you could call it. Threat tower. The one trench is all the minis that replace the agents. And then the center one is the one piece of foam, all of the city tiles and the cards, because it's a card crafting game. So it's all those. But once I didn't take off the bands that were holding all of the cards that you actually buy. But once that comes off, like, I have no idea how I'm going to store this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because the trench is huge.
Yeah.
At least the piece of foam actually like fits in there, and it's not just like some loose just garbage in
Loose
there.
foam. Yeah.
It actually fits to the sides and can hold things. But there's no like tray or anything for the cards. The cards only fit like a rectangle, like long side down in like the bottom, and then there's another like 8 inches of space to the top of the box from where they're sitting on the bottom, because it's a huge box. It's like Gloomhaven or possibly bigger.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a big one.
it's fucking huge. And yeah, so it's going to be a trial of how to actually store those, because there's no like bands or anything to keep them together. And then the piece of foam is huge. It's the whole like size of the trench. It fits, but we'll find out. There'll be some adventures in organizing. The stuff on the side fits great. The stuff in the middle is going to be a challenge. Got the expansion with the Kickstarter.
Nice.
Just comes with more
More stuff.
with like a sand city theme
How long does the game take to play?
at around 2 hours or more.
So, no on Wednesday.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Where are we Wednesday?
Burns.
That's right.
Probably not enough space.
Probably not enough space. It looks, I looked through, and it has like nice dual layer player boards, but it has like a main board and then like 2 expansion boards that you can use, but you can choose not to use them to save space.
Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and it's card crafting. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
but it seems very different than Mystic Vale so far. It's more you're like drafting stuff out of the middle, but it depends on like the way stuff gets out there. It's not just going from like a centered deck.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll find out.
Yeah, indeed we shall.
The
Hopefully
Edge.
before Gen Con.
The Edge of Darkness. Yeah, they just sent out a bunch of emails saying like Edge of Darkness is going to be at Gen Con. It's $120.
It's expensive.
Yeah, good luck getting that home in the first place.
Yeah, right?
You better be driving.
Yeah, it's big.
Right on. Well, I think that means it's time to move on to some news and Kickstarters.
Yeah. First up in news this week, some sad news for about 70 people and their jobs. The company that was making the Terraforming Mars app is shutting its doors.
Womp womp.
Yep. It's a bummer because I know they're getting close to finishing it for the phone and tablets, which I don't know how you'd play it on the phone, but
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a bummer.
I mean, I'm gonna assume that Asmodee, like, they don't just are like, screw it, we're done. I'm like, they just move it to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say how much might get lost in that shift. Even just in terms of delays of like bringing on a new team. It's like, hey, here's this half-finished product that you didn't write any of the code for. Like, finish it, please. That'll probably cause some issues. And then, whatever it was that caused Lucky Hammers to like go under real quick.
No idea.
That's not great.
No, but I also wasn't thrilled with the Terraforming Mars app when it came out, so I've held off on buying it, so I still haven't even ever purchased it.
Yeah, I there are things I liked about it, things I didn't. There were parts that were really well done, but other things were very annoying.
Yeah.
I've been really happy with the
Yeah.
the digital version that I have on Steam.
Mhm.
Megan and I both got
Well,
it.
I mean,
We
that's what
both
I have,
play it.
yeah.
What don't you like?
I mean, it was like I hadn't played it in a while, so they may have fixed the problems that it was. Like it was when trying to do stuff with drafting and stuff like that. There's certain things, and I just hate how long it takes to do everything in that game.
Oh,
Slow animation. Everything.
Yeah, even when fast animation was turned on, it still would be like it had all these noises and movement things for it, and you're just like,
Go faster.
Yeah,
I don't know.
well, and also I was just playing solo and not even like against AI, like the solo mode.
Oh,
So it was just I was just stopped by just waiting for things to finish, and so it would be frustrating.
yeah, they must have fixed that because I don't remember it being that bad.
Yeah.
Because I've played both the solo mode and then I've played just against AI.
Mhm.
Megan and I haven't played together yet on it, but
I tried to play a game or two with Patrick Hillier,
yeah,
but it would never connect. That was also a thing too. So
that's unfortunate.
yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll have more information sometime in the future about what might happen with digital Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, apparently they were working on another game set in the Mansions of Madness universe called
Yeah.
Mother's Embrace. I know there was like an
Yeah, I
actual
remember that.
app, like an actual game out there. It didn't seem like it was just going to be a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what. Yeah,
So we probably won't see that either.
which is also a bummer.
Yeah.
Next up in news, Simon announces a weird thing, a board video game. We'll find out soon with Teburu.
Yeah, Teburu. I don't know.
Sure.
So Simon is teaming up with Explored, and this is a gaming console that integrates physical board games with digital devices. And there's not a ton of information in this little press release. There's a little bit of a video that I didn't get a chance to watch, but it looks like you have like a special pad that you put your game on. Everybody has an app, and then you have like the tablet set up with the app. And essentially the pad that you put the game on can sense where figures representing heroes, monsters, and other gameplay elements are anywhere on the board. It then can go to any computer compatible tablet or computer running the Game Master app, which will then like control all of the bad guys in it. Like they use Zombicide it's the first game that's coming out with this system is a new Zombicide. So like the app will run all the zombies. Then you can also track your own player on the companion app that you run on your own smartphone that networks into the Game Master app. So it lets the Game Master, like they're obviously it's a press release and they're way overhyping things here, but they're like running on their own smartphones network to the Game Master app, which is able to throw surprises at players with a malevolent intelligence never before seen in board games. What's behind the door? The Game Master knows. Bum, bum, bum. But you can roll your dice wirelessly. It does everything for you, and yeah, we'll see how that works.
Yeah, it seems like it's got the digital pad underneath, and that's going to be the main component. Everything on top of that is going. It seems like it has, from what's printed on the Zombicide things, they only have specific spots that your characters can be on, and that's kind of what's telling the pad and the app where your character is.
Gotcha.
It's also going to have battery-powered digital dice, so it knows what you roll
Yeah.
on top of that.
Okay.
So the app, you roll your dice that are specific to this, and then it knows what you rolled, and then it can actually change on the app without you having to punch in, like, I rolled a 7.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you attack them, you roll, and then you watch as like, oh, look, they died.
Yeah. And the board game components themselves will have to have very specific spots to where you can move your stuff on, because I think that's what matters with the pad underneath.
Oh, that makes sense.
There's a printing on the board where it has like little circles that look like they're places where you're supposed to set stuff.
I think those are different tokens specific to Zombicide. I don't think those are where you set people.
Well, the board itself has circles on it where people are being placed.
Oh.
Yeah. At least that's what it looks like in the video.
Huh.
Yeah. So that might be something specific with the pad or just the design of the game, because you still need to have the board somewhere specific so the pad underneath knows what that is. So it's probably going to be a very specific setup to what the app is.
Yeah.
Or else it's not going to know where the hell you are.
True.
Hopefully it's not crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Because the electronic dice thing looks cool.
Yeah, it does. I remember seeing Explored at like Gen Con and stuff like that.
Yeah. This will be at Gen Con, so hopefully you guys can check it out.
Nice.
Yeah. Players will get their first chance to try Teburu gaming system at Gen Con this August at the CMON booth. They'll be able to try this new fully integrated style of gaming with demos of Zombicide Evolution Las Vegas.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully the price is reasonable. That's really where it's going to hit. Well, I mean, nothing CMON makes is reasonably priced, so
Correct.
at this point, this is the next evolution. $3.99 with $50 expansion packs. If you thought you needed more dice now, wait till you have to pay $40 a die. Next up in news, some corrections have come out about the El Dorado new edition and what that means for territories that have or don't have El Dorado coming soon to a board game shop near you.
Yeah. So back when Reiner Knizia, we talked about this, I don't know, a week or two ago.
It was
it was last week.
It was like the Monday after we did the review or something.
Yeah.
Reiner Knizia tweeted that he was excited for the new for the new edition with art by Vincent Dutrait, which everybody had missed was that he specifically does say our upcoming international edition, which apparently when you dig into it more, the new edition is only going to be for areas where Ravensburger does not currently publish.
Yep.
So it's like up to 12 countries now. Where was it? I had the list of them somewhere. There's a lot of stuff to pour through in this.
It's a big article.
Yeah, so 11 languages, and then the publicity made it go to 12. And the languages are Dutch, Danish, Finnish, Norwegian, Swedish, Chinese, Greek, Hungarian, Japanese, Korean, Polish, and Russian.
So only places that will be speaking those languages will be getting this new full card-sized new version.
Correct.
I don't think they had pinned down anything about the future expansions being compatible with only this version or the old edition, but it sounds like we're going to get expansions with the tiny cards for Ravensburger, and then there will be expansions with the large card sizes to those said territories.
Yeah. So for those of us in the English-speaking world who got really excited about a new large card version with Vincent Dutrait art, too bad, so sad.
We can still get it.
Yeah. It was fairly language independent.
Yeah.
I feel like you could mostly get by.
Some of those purple cards were a little wordy, but
Yeah.
those would just require minor translation at most.
Yeah. And some of us are trying to learn some of those languages that are listed. Maybe I'll pick up my copy when I go to Japan in the spring. Get a Japanese version of it.
There you go. So quit panicking, everyone.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it anyways. Last up in news this week, I guess these Spiel people finally decided to choose some winners. And I, for one, am not shocked by any of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
As soon as that list was released, I was like, that one's going to win, that one's going to win, and I don't even know what those are.
And yeah. Well, and the kid ones were already decided in June or something like that.
Like June 6th. But yeah, so without any further ado, we already talked about them. They were nominated. Just one is the winner of Spiel, and Wingspan is the winner of Kenner Spiel.
Look at the shock of Wingspan winning Spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us were too hot on Wingspan.
No, but
Nope.
it's like
Everyone else is, that's for sure.
yeah. But it's out of all those, it was like, yeah, that seems to be the winner thing. So.
Yeah. Just it kills me that like Kenner Spiel, the enthusiast game, is still like just the lightest of light games.
No, that's
every time.
It's not. Oh,
Like it's always light. Like Kenner Spiels are always really light.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time an actual like meaty game of I don't know.
because it's not for meaty games.
I mean, when it says like Kenner Spiel, the game of the year for enthusiasts, for those already comfortable with learning and playing new games, it's still constantly just like intro level games. But yeah, those are announced. Like I said, no big shock this year on who won what.
Yeah, last year it was Quacks, right? And then Quacks and the Mind, right?
Yeah, it was Quacks, Exit, Isle of Sky, Broom
Isle of Sky.
Yeah, Broom Service, Istanbul, Legends of Andor, Village, Seven Wonders. I mean, they've all been about that level of complexity. So
I'd say Isle of Sky is probably the best from the past
By far.
handful
I mean,
of years.
I would say the Exit games, but that's just me. Well,
yeah. I mean, those aren't bad, but
I
those are also, it's also weird. Yeah, that's a weird category. Like, play this one game. It's good. Play it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I guess Isle of Sky would be your more traditional board game.
That's it for news.
Sure is. And now on to Kickstarters. Our first Kickstarter this week is called Extinction. Just funded $10,800 of its $10,000 goal. 112 backers. 2 weeks left to go. Its most popular pledge being $69 for like the Founders Collector's Edition, but you can grab this one for as low as $27.
Yeah, so Extinction is a kind of card battling game.
That undersells the title that they use.
Yeah.
Extinction, a dinosaur survival card game.
Battle Royale, I believe, is also in there.
I was looking at the title on the box itself. Yes, the title on the Kickstarter, Extinction, Dinosaur Survival Battle Royale card game.
Yes.
A card game that's been destroying friendships since the dinosaurs, even though it's definitely not that old.
No.
So basically, in this game, you are trying to destroy everybody else's dinosaur eggs while protecting your own. It's a battle royale, so whoever is the last one standing wins. Everybody starts with 4 cards, 6 dino eggs, which are your life points, and a herbivore habitat. You start your turn by drawing 2 cards from the draw pile, and then you choose 3 of those now 6 cards that you have to play. And cards are divided into a bunch of different types. So there's like food ones, which are either meat or plants. There's like attack cards, event cards, things that let you steal from other people, all of that kind of stuff. Dinosaurs, when you first play them, they start off as little babies, and then you have to feed them, and they grow up, and then they do more damage when they're grown up. Carnivores do more damage than herbivores, but meat is maybe rarer to find. And like to start playing carnivores, you got to find a carnivore habitat because you just start with an herbivore one. I don't know. But yeah, you smash around and play cards until eventually only one person has eggs left, and then they're the winner.
Sounds like life in a board game.
Yes, smashing eggs. It also can come with a coloring book.
Yes, it can. It seems to be a sort of take that kind of board game 4-player. So a little munchkin, I guess, in there, I'm sure.
Probably a little, not too much.
But there's some blocking cards and things like that. That's like how you use your food. You can use that as defense. So
yeah, you can also be like, no, here's food for your T-Rex so it doesn't smash my eggs.
Yes. Yeah, good old player elimination type game. The art's on it I like a lot.
Yeah, player elimination's never been bad in board games. Never, not once.
Depends on how long the game is.
Yeah.
They went all in with like social media stretch goals, and not a single one of them. Well, no, that's not true. They've gotten to 300 Facebook likes, but
oh wow, you're not wrong. Jeez, that is a lot of
yeah.
That's why social media goals aren't always smart for every Kickstarter.
No, only on ones where you know you can get them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and some of these are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I gotta just be honest.
Don't be sorry. Most social media stretch goals are always stupid.
Yeah, they're always stupid.
Well, yeah, but these are even like beyond that. Like, post 3 photos of dinos getting married, #Extinction Marry. Post 5 photos of dinos ice skating, #Extinction Ice Skating. Post 3 photos of dinos on a scooter, #Extinction Scooter. Like, do they just expect people to go nuts for this game and go buy the big inflatable T-Rex suits and do these things?
Only if you're Cyanide and Happiness can you get away with stuff like that.
Yeah. Lame. Game itself, not really appealing to me, but maybe good for some people who won a $27 Take That card game.
People have paid more for less.
That is definitely true.
Yep.
That's Extinction, Dinosaur Survival Battle Royale card game.
Next up is Rush MD. Very well funded, 40.4 thousand of its $20,000 goal. 793 backers, less than 2 weeks left to go on this one, which you can get for $55. If this is from those people that made Kitchen Rush, which we have played vaguely recently.
Yes. So this is the latest from Artibia Games, would be the people who brought us Kitchen Rush. And it is another real-time cooperative game, only this time, instead of operating a kitchen, you are nurses and doctors trying to run a hospital. Plays 1 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes. And essentially, in the game, like I said, you're doctors who've been hired brand new into this medical center. So your goal is to admit, diagnose, and treat all of the various patients who come into the hospital. But in this one, mistakes are even more of a bad thing because, like, you're killing people. So mistakes will hold you back. So similar to Kitchen Rush, it's using hourglasses as your workers. So you place them down, and then you have to wait until the hourglass like empties before you can move it. Just like in Kitchen Rush. There are an additional 4 nurse hourglasses that all players can use to go do other little actions to help them with. They can provide like medicine to patients, supplying drugs, equipment, things like that. Yeah.
Comes with some tweezers. I guess that's going to be a mechanic.
Well, because it has syringes that you have to like
put blood
put
into,
blood into in
with
order,
a syringe.
Yeah, Well, with the tweezers into the syringe. And Kitchen Rush has like the cooking thing. You know, it has the actual time element where you have to cook dishes. You know, up until a certain amount of time. Whereas this one looks like it may have more dexterity-esque components.
Yeah, like you're treating patients by loading in these syringes with various colored discs.
Yeah,
they have
orange wooden pills, white pills, blue pills, and then also green and yellow IV drugs, along with red blood. So you're like mixing and matching those things.
I'm guessing that would be all like the recipes and such.
Yeah,
that would be carrying over.
Yeah, hearts, lungs, and
yeah,
kidneys and bones, and it comes with like 3D cardboard beds. So just gonna like throw a heart in the general direction of the bed and be like, "Aha! You've got a new heart now." Be interesting. I like Kitchen Rush.
Yeah.
Let's just hope their hourglasses are slightly more consistent.
Nah.
'Cause they were real rough. They still worked.
Yeah.
And were very close to the same time each.
Mm-hmm.
But like their biggest one versus their smallest one were still off by a couple seconds.
10 seconds from what I remember.
Yeah. So getting those lined up a little more would be nice.
Yeah.
Also said to deliver in 5 months. That's what they're claiming.
Yeah. I mean, all the art looks here. The only thing that's not shown is like the objective cards, which I'm sure they're just designing.
Yeah.
Yeah. $55. It can be yours.
Next up in Kickstarters is One Small Step. Very well funded, $84,000 of its $20,000 goal, 1,237 backers, 2 weeks left to pledge, and you can get this one for $65.
Yep. So One Small Step is the latest game from Academy Games. And in this one, 2 or 4 players take on leading the U.S. and Soviet space agencies as they race to be the first country to put a man on the moon. So it's got engine building and worker placement, and takes about 60 minutes. Basically, you choose which one of the countries you're going to be, and then you use engineers or administrators to do actions on Earth, gathering resources, drafting development cards, recruiting astronauts, and launching missions. You eventually build your engine up and upgrade your agency, where you can start getting temporary resources into more permanent resources, assign personnel, get bonus tiles, things like that, and then score victory points by launching successful missions into space. If you achieve the moon landing, you get a victory point bonus and trigger the end of the game. And then whoever has the most victory points at that point wins.
Did you say this was 2 or 4 players?
Yes.
It's 2 4 players.
I don't see how 3 players would play.
Well, the rulebook says that it's 2 to 4 players.
I mean, it could be like Star Wars Rebellion you can do 3 players.
And there is a solo mode, so you actually... Well, the rulebook says 1 to 4 players at this point.
Because the way they describe the worker placement, like play on teams of 1 or 2, where each player controls either the engineer or the administrator workers for their team. So if you play a 3-player game, one team is going to have twice as many actions. Like, I feel like it would break the game. I don't see how you could possibly play with 3.
Each side chooses their nation to play and receives that nation's control board, 2 engineers, and 2 administration workers. So one person would just be controlling both if they were on another side.
I guess maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Reading through the Kickstarter, it certainly makes it seem like you would want to play it with 2 or 4 players.
I'm sure it will be
Yeah, I'm
best
sure it's
at
better.
those,
I'm sure it's best
but
at
it
those.
definitely has the option of playing
a third.
3, 1, or 2,
Okay.
or 4.
But yeah, that's the base idea for the game there. Pledge levels, you can also get in on some of Academy Games' other games that they've released. Things like Tudor, which I played at Lieria, that I really liked. 878 Vikings, that I think we talked about years ago.
I think so.
Freedom Underground Railroad, which I've heard is really good. Mare Nostrum Empires, which I've heard is really good. Things like that. Or you can just get like 4 copies of One Small Step, whatever you're into.
Could always use more space games.
Yeah.
that aren't High Frontier.
Well, it's also, roughly, now it's a few days later, but it's roughly the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. So,
Yes, it is.
fitting time to get a game about trying to land on the moon.
Moving on to our last Kickstarter, which is like Etherfields?
I thought like Ether.
Etherfields?
Etherfields, I think.
Etherfields. Gotcha. Fields of Ether.
There you go.
Just barely funded so far. Only $2.9 million of its $50,000 goal. 24,483 backers. 2 weeks left to go, with its most popular pledge being $146.
So I don't normally do this, but it's now 24,513 backers.
Yep.
Like, that's how many backers that have come up since Jeff wrote that down at the start of the episode.
So that was like an hour ago.
Yep.
So Zach, you've already backed this one. So how about you tell us what it's about and what interested you with it?
It's by the people that did Tainted Grail, and I'm really looking forward to that game. This one seems to be more of it's a cooperative game, but like with dreamy details on it are very vague right now.
It says it's a dream
Yeah.
crawler, not a
Yeah.
dungeon crawler.
No, so it has like I found another article that actually had some here you go. Actually, because the Kickstarter doesn't do a great job of explaining how exactly you play the game, but that's
Yes.
because it's their style that they sort of have, like, they show you the prototype more or less, and then work out the game during this, and then up until, like, Tainted Grail is a much different game than it was when I originally backed it, I think. Or they definitely made some changes to it. So I'm expecting the same sort of thing here.
Sounds like Steamforged.
Yeah, right? But it's cooperative campaign, and I think it's like up to 50 hours or
50
something.
plus hours
Yeah.
of campaign without stretch goals. It's going to have a quick save system, so it seems like this is going to be a much longer type
Yes.
thing, which, Seventh Continent had that, right?
Mm-hmm. This War of Mine has a quick save as well,
Yeah.
which
Which
made
they also did.
Yeah. So this has deck building and deck management in it, but it has like puzzle solving and exploration too. So they're just throwing out buzzwords, and I'm like, I'm in on buzzwords.
It's all square cards.
Yep.
Looks a lot like Seventh Continent in its square cardness.
Yes. When players enter a new dream, you can discover passages or hidden clues that help them collect keys needed to eventually escape the dream world for good. It has a branching storyline that will allow for multiple playthroughs, as decisions you make will, impact future storylines in your campaign and stuff like that. Minis still, like, they look great.
Yeah.
They have a lot of Kickstarter goals. They keep talking about something about, like, you're able to break rules because you'll get more rules as you'll discover more rules throughout the game, but you can tweak your character to break the rules that come up and things like that. It's all, like I said, sort of buzzwordy sort of thing, but
As we've already established, you're all in on buzzwords.
yeah. And I mean, I can always cancel it if near the end I'm like, you know what, I'm good. But it might just be the fact that I'm like, new job and like a big old Kickstarter, I'm in.
There's that fiscal responsibility.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can add.
There's
to this.
100% difference between managing other people's money and my own money.
Yeah, and the $146 pledge that 14,589 people have done still doesn't have all the add-ons there.
No, that one's just basically if you want, because they actually did the same thing in Tainted Grail, where it's just if you want, like, certain things will have, like, come up as cards or tokens, and these are like, here, you can have them as minis instead if you would like.
Yeah.
And that's basically it, more or less. But it's gonna add, you can have extra campaigns. You can add on extra campaigns, some new characters, like a playmat, art book, some metal keys, and then card sleeves because, like you said, a lot of these are square, and those are sort of hard to come by. So it's for over 770 sleeves, $56.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That's a lot.
And it's enough card sleeves for everything.
Yes.
So it covers the base game and all stretch goal
yeah.
cards. Crazy.
Etherfields.
Yeah, go check it out if you want to see just a ridiculous Kickstarter full of a bunch of stuff.
It's a lot of cards with some minis attached.
Yeah. I really like the design of the core box, though. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, and that's it for Kickstarters.
That is indeed it for Kickstarters. Which brings us on to some listener feedback. No new emails for Jeff.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
If you want to send him an email. There was one new BGG comment.
Yes. This is from episode 81.
Yeah, somebody's going for some deep cuts.
Pandemish games. So we did that, what, was that 2 years ago? Oh, no, a year and a half ago. And this is from Neil. Neil says, Rising Tide is the hardest pandemic aside from Legacy, maybe. Iberia can be a bit challenging as well. Regular Pandemic with On the Brink and In the Lab. I do enjoy Pandemic quite a bit.
Yeah, and that was from the one where we reviewed Iberia and Rising Tide?
Correct. Yeah. And I think we were talking about like the difficulty in it.
Yeah.
So far, the Fall of Rome has been the easiest of all of those, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, but also different.
Yes. No, it's definitely...
They've all been different.
They've all been different.
Well, Iberia is kind of like the most same, I guess.
Yeah. But I definitely, I felt a lot more challenge with Rising Tide. Like, you could whereas when we played, we were like, all right, well, we can just artificially increase it to the, because we were playing with, we can just make it the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
But that's the next step up. Whereas with the other ones, we're like, we still have multiple layers of difficulty to increase it on. So.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's touched Rising Tide on its hardest difficulty yet.
No.
I know I haven't.
No.
Hell, I don't think we've even played with the population cubes yet.
No, I don't think so.
I know Andrew's really been wanting to. I need to coordinate with him to play sometime.
But that's it.
Indeed. Nothing new on Kickstarter or anything, or on Kickstarter, on YouTube or anything like that. So, relatively light week in the listener feedback.
Yep.
People be slacking, both literally and figuratively, because we also got the Slack update.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was funny. 2,286 messages sent last week.
That's it? Wow. Isn't it normally like 4,000 to 5,000?
It's actually, that's 744 fewer than the week before.
Yeah.
So it was a down week with over 2,000 messages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now we know. We skip one episode and we're fucked.
Yep.
But yeah, if you want to get a hold of us, there are multiple ways to do so. You can send emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
We have Facebook and Instagram, both /MileHighGameGuys. And over on our website, milehighgameguys.com, are links to our BGG guild number 2731. Links to our Slack channel that we mentioned before. It's apparently we're down 700 messages. So come join the Slack channel, bring some life, and get it going. And also,
you can watch as Paul asks Jeff and I comic questions that we have to answer for him. Did you not see that one?
No.
What?
For female Thor.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I did not see
well,
that.
I
in any way,
answered
shape, or
some of
form.
it for it. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
we've had to do that multiple times.
yeah, he's like, hey, I don't understand the lore behind this comic book thing. You nerds, tell me what's up.
Yep. We should just start doing the "Let me Google that for you" thing that he likes
Fuck
to do
yes,
for everybody
please
else.
do. Jesus.
Now I don't want to.
It's like Jane Foster's been in the comics for a
Yeah.
while. She was a female Thor for a while, actually years ago at this point. She had cancer. And then because Thor wasn't around, and that's about it.
Yeah. And he was just like, well, I told him it was like, it's sort of basically more or less that. And then he was just like, yeah, but he's doing, started doing saying all the things that have happened to him in the movie or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's comic stuff. I'm sure they'll change it in some way.
Yeah. In the comics, he was like a doctor, and he had a staff that he would hit on the ground and turn him into Thor, which they kind of alluded to when him and Loki were like changing outfits when they went up against Hela.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how his main hidden identity move was back in the day.
Well, in the first one, there was a sticker on the shirt that Jane gave him that had Donald Blank on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hooray, Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know any of the comic stuff. I just do it because I see shit on movies. I'm like, I want to know why that is that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so come join the Slack channel. It's actually really fun. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I As always, thanks to our sponsors, Gray Fox Games. Their latest game, Reavers of Midgard, is getting ever closer to showing up in people's hands.
Hopefully we'll be able to see it next week.
Next week at Gen Con. We'll hopefully hear from Zach and Jeff firsthand impressions of Reavers of Midgard. The pictures and things they've been releasing for it have looked real sweet. So, looking forward to finding out some more information about that. Jeff, do you have your prepared statement?
As always.
Always ready.
Always ready. Just depends on how fast the phone loads back to the page. Gray Fox Games, quality games, cleverly crafted. Also, there's a lot of pressure on my torso.
Okay.
When he was first getting the sneaking suit put on.
Oh, gotcha.
Getting some real deep cuts there. Are we going to have to come up with something else soon?
No, it's just that was a short one. I mean, there's longer. I can go on.
No need this week. Save
There's
it.
a lot of conversations between people, so it's hard to quote those out. So you always have to look for something that's in those conversations that's
Stands alone.
indeed.
Okay. Thanks for the insight into your process, Jeff.
I can talk about scissors for a while.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. There's a very famous portion of Metal Gear Solid 2 where they talk about scissors.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That wraps up the episode. We're done. Be sure to check us out on Friday when we do the first ever MHGG Expands.
Quote unquote first one ever. If you don't count Terraforming Mars.
Yeah. Well, we didn't call it MHGG
I know.
Expands,
No, I know. That's
so,
why I'm like, technically it is, but it's also,
Yeah.
it's not the first time we've done expansions.
But basically, we're going to be looking at the new expansions for Euphoria and for Feast for Odin and seeing how they stack up and how they change our opinions from the first time we reviewed those games. So check it out.
Those being called Ignorance is Bliss and the Norwegians.
Correct.
Good old Euphoria, the Norwegians.
But yeah, so check that out on Friday. And then after that, the main podcast is going to go dark for a few weeks as we do our transition. Starting Wednesday, when you're listening to this, I'm going to be beginning to move everything out of the downstairs studio. So Megan and I can paint it and get it all fancy down here and turn it back into like a storage guest room, Megan's craft knitting room. Then once like all the storage, it's painted and everything's moved down here, then I'll be able to move all the stuff into the new studio and get it all set up. But that's going to probably take a couple weeks. So we'll be down for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. We'll keep you posted.
We'll still have stuff.
Yeah.
Like we'll have some Gen Con stuff.
3-4 weeks? That seems like a long time.
Yeah. Depends on how much you guys help when you get back from Gen Con.
Ooh. 3 to 4 weeks it is.
I'm hedging the bets. I don't want to be like, oh, sorry, it's going to be like another week, and then it's going to be another week. So I'm just 3 or 4 out the gate, and if it's sooner, it's sooner.
So possibly by August 19th.
Correct. But yeah, you guys will be recording a bunch of stuff at Gen Con that we'll be releasing. And then we do have some plans so that there will still continue to be content. It's not just going to be like the feed goes silent for 4 weeks. It just won't be normal Wednesday, Friday episodes until the new studio's up.
Yeah.
So, and then there will be video.
Yeah.
Jeff will have to start wearing a shirt.
It's so hot in here.
Yeah. And yet your nipples are so erect. It's very weird.
Add attention at all times.
Can cut glass.
Yep.
Yeah, that wraps up the episode. We'll catch you guys on Friday. And if you're at Gen Con, be sure to track down Zach and Jeff and say hi.
Yes. You know how to contact us because we just talked about that a couple minutes ago.
We got badge ribbons.
Yep.
We may have other stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
So until then, as always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Presser Jeff.
Bye.
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 Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.